Yeah, you heard him. You heard the We need to stop this madness. It ends now. We need to stop mutilating infants' genitalia.
Mulvaney is not a she. He is a pervert.
Oh my god. This is off the rails. She needs to get a grip. This is insane. Hi everyone, it is Samantha Lux. Welcome back to my channel. Do we like my little natural makeup look today? Yes? No? Maybe? I just was not feeling the big eyelashes and the eyeliner today. So this is what we're getting, okay? It's still cute, no? Maybe? I don't know. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be talking about my looks or being pretty or anything like that because that's reinforcing a stereotype, and that's problematic. For today's video, we are talking about Dylan Mulvaney. Well, not specifically Dylan Mulvaney, but more so the backlash that has been surrounding Dylan Mulvaney due to her collaborations with Bud Light and Nike. The conservatives and the transphobes have literally lost their effing minds. Poor Dylan Mulvaney drinking a beer and like wearing a sports bra. They're hating it. They cannot handle it. Like, I get it. I don't like beer either. Like, ew. Especially Bud Light? No ma'am.
What?
Just kidding, you guys sponsor transies? I love Bud Light. But yeah, for today's video, we're gonna be talking about the complaints, the concerns that people have had regarding these sponsorships and these collaborations. And we're gonna be watching a few segments from some videos from Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens? Is there an S? Who gives a f? Just your favorite local transphobes. You know? Before we get started, I just started a Twitch channel. I'm gonna be playing lots of games over on my Twitch channel. I think I finally decided that I'm going to be playing, little drum roll please. Can we get a drum roll? I'm gonna be playing mostly Zelda games because that is, you know, my thing. That's what I love to do. And also the new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is coming out soon, so I will definitely be streaming that. Oh my god, wait, I have to show you something. Okay, so this is my little friend that's going to be joining us on stream. Isn't she cute? She's a little Korok. If you don't know Zelda, she's a little Korok. She's like a little baby Deku tree. I don't know, but she's so cute. So she's gonna find a place to sit in my videos. She's our new little idol, our new little mascot on my Twitch channel. So go say hi to her, go follow me over there, and yeah, just get ready for it. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. But I post new videos here on my YouTube channel every single week. So if you guys are not yet subscribed and you would like to be, go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead. I'll wait for you as I bounce my little curl. Are you done? Thank you very much. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to keep us up to date with me as possible. And I also have a Patreon, so if you guys like the work that I do here on my channel and you want to donate, the link for that is right down below as well. But yeah, with no further ado, crack a cold one if you're of age, and let's get into today's video. So I want to start this video by watching the collaborations because we need to see what all the drama's about. We need to see what all the hubbub is about.
Hi! Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but
it's football. You're welcome.
Either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too. Love ya! Cheers! Go team! Whatever team you love, I love too. Okay.
I think the transphobes are really just jealous that they didn't have their face put on a Bud Light can because, I mean, that's everything. Like, I would definitely drink my own little beer. You kidding? I don't even like Bud Light, but I'd shotgun it or something, but then it would ruin the can. I don't know, but it's so cute. I do have some comments on this, but I want to play the other ad before I make all my comments because I feel like my comments are going to be kind of similar for both of them. So let's watch the other one now. So this was a Nike partnership on Dylan's Instagram story, I believe. Okay, here it is. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing, just her dancing around. I think she also posted some images in a sports bra and like athletic wear for the collaboration as well. So it was the Instagram post and then a couple posts of her like in a sports bra. And people everywhere are very, very upset about this. At least it seems that way to me, you know? Usually when we hear transphobes boycotting companies like they did with M&Ms and stuff like that, it's just because they're transphobic, duh. They literally just see a trans person and they're like, no, I'm done with you. You can't support this madness. We have to boycott them if they're gonna give in to this woke agenda, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like that's what a lot of this comes down to, but there is some actual concerns that I've been hearing from cisgendered women that I do want to address. But before I do that, I have some comments of my own. Okay, so first of all, the Bud Light one, as Dylan's dressed up in her like fancy outfit, she looks like Aubrey Hepburn. She has like diamonds and pearls and everything like that, and she drinks a Bud Light. Girl, we all know you are not drinking Bud Light. We know it. You're not fooling anyone, girl. Even her face at the end too, she's like, it's delicious. You would do it too for a check though, girl. You would do it too. Same thing with the Nike one. I'm not sure Dylan was the best choice for a Nike campaign. Not because she's trans, duh, but because she's been very open about the fact that she's not very athletic. She's not really into sports, as we saw in the Bud Light video. I feel like there's a better person for the job. You know what I mean? Even if they are trans. But also, Dylan has a huge platform, and so, you know, they're just trying to get views. They're just trying to get exposure, and I totally get that. And Henny, they got the exposure. They got it. They got what they wanted, girl. Part of me does kind of feel bad for Dylan because I feel like these brands are almost taking advantage of her. I'm sure she got paid a lot of money. She better have gotten paid a lot of money for this, but Bud Light had to have known that their audience is not, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, right? How much of an overlap between their fans and Dylan's fans do they really think there is? In my opinion, I feel like they kind of knew that this would go viral and it would kind of, you know, upset a lot of people. I feel like because of the backlash, they've gotten 10 times, if not 50 times, if not 100 times more exposure than they would have if it was just Dylan's platform. You know, Ben Shapiro's picking it up. Candace Owens is picking it up. All these different right-wing trans films are picking it up. So I will say it was kind of a good marketing move by Nike and Bud Light. But like I said, part of me is just like, ooh, Dylan, I hope they paid you well, girl. I really do. And now I mentioned that there were a lot of concerns that weren't coming really from like transphobes per se, but from cisgender women. It is important to note that a lot of these concerns vocalized by cis women are likely being fed to them by transphobes. I don't know, there is a little bit to say about the concerns. So let's get into the concern. Talk about it like it's not here. So besides the cis women that are upset with these collaborations just because Dylan is trans, there is a group of people that is upset with Dylan for the way that they are portraying themselves online. They believe that a lot of the content that Dylan is releasing and putting on their platforms is mocking women, is stereotypical, and just reinforcing negative stereotypes of women. And I do have to somewhat agree. You know, in the Bud Light video, she kind of leans into that stereotype of women not really knowing what sports are about. And I have to say, I do it too. It's funny, it's a joke. But it is a stereotype, you know, obviously women can know what March Madness is, women can like sports, all that kind of stuff. So that's fine. But when we see it in combination with videos where Dylan is like, my first day of girlhood and I cried 20 times today. Am I doing it right? Am I being a girl right? Kind of just like feeding into another stereotype of women, which estrogen does definitely make you a bit emotional. That's a fact. But I don't think that Dylan was on hormones at that point. At least I don't know. But it's a stereotype. There's also a TikTok of Dylan in the woods and she sees a bug and she freaks out. She's like, oh my God, a bug, ew, 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 ew. Again, just like a stereotype. But all of that being said, I really don't think that that is something to cancel Dylan over or something to boycott Nike and Bud Light over. I am also a trans woman. I transitioned 8+ years ago. And I just have to say, like, when you first transition, there's definitely like a learning period and an adjustment period to being yourself, but as a woman. It takes some time, at least it did for me, to kind of differentiate between who I was as a woman and what society believes a woman is and how that influenced me to act and stuff like that. So maybe as Dylan grows and matures, she'll kind of settle down into a more relaxed personality, but also maybe she won't. Maybe this is just her personality. Maybe she's just a super feminine, over the top, flamboyant person. Maybe that's just her personality and that's totally fine and totally valid. And I don't think that she should be punished for that. Also, she's built a massive platform off this personality. So in a way, it's kind of like her brand. She has to keep up this bubbly personality because that's who people are watching on TikTok. That's who they click on to see. But now, having addressed those concerns and having acknowledged that there is some, you know, stereotypical behavior happening, I think we also need to acknowledge and highlight the double standard that's happening. Tons of cis women act in stereotypical ways. Tons of cis women have like a bubbly, girly personality and they're not demonized for it. Their womanhood isn't questioned because of it. And actually, most of the time, the people that make fun of them are called misogynistic because they're telling women how they should behave and how they should act instead of just allowing a woman to express herself in the way that she wants to. Like, this is just my opinion, but I really don't think that people would have the same reaction to a cisgender woman pretending to not know about sports as they would to Dylan pretending that she doesn't know about sports. That's just how I feel about it. I don't know, maybe you think differently, but I don't know. It is kind of a tough conversation because, of course, stereotypes are bad. We don't want to reinforce stereotypes, especially when they're not the best stereotypes. I feel like stereotypes in general are never good, but I also think that we need to give Dylan a bit of leeway. I feel like people are being a lot harsh, very harsh. The people who are just calling her a man and saying that she shouldn't be on this because she's a man and men can't wear sports bras and men don't drink beer? Is that what you're gonna try to say? It's just silly to me. Like, trans women can like beer. I know it's really weird. It's kind of gross. I personally do not, but they can like beer, I guess. And for the Nike campaign, like, trans women wear sports bras. I wear sports bras the majority of days. Like, what do you want from us? Do you want us to go to the gym with our beautiful giant boobs out bouncing around for your boyfriends to see? Is that really what you want, Barbara? Because I'll do it. I will. I'll take one for the team, girl. I'll do it. Don't try me, transphobe. But yeah, with all of that being said, let's take a little listen to what Mr. Ben Shapiro has to say about the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light collab.
And then Dylan Mulvaney released another video of himself in a bathtub in a bathing suit blowing bubbles with the Bud Light. So first of all, just want to point out here how stereotypically ridiculous it is for a man to pretend to be a woman.
See, there it is. This is not about stereotypes. It's about a man pretending to be a woman. It's just because they hate the transies. They just don't like us.
And then use every ridiculous stereotype about women. Apparently, women don't know what March Madness is. Did you know that? Did you know that no woman knows what March Madness is? You just thought it was a stressful month.
See, I really tried to understand the stereotype perspective, but when I hear it out of Ben's mouth, it's just no. I don't buy it. Like, maybe Dylan just truly didn't know what March Madness was. You look at Dylan, you think that she looks like a sports fan, do you? Because personally, I believe it. I believe that she had no idea what March Madness was.
How do women not find this utterly bizarre and insulting? I don't understand. And who is the crowd for whom Bud Light is doing this? And the answer is, of course, all of their friends. They're doing this for the earned media. Their assumption is that there won't be a massive number of Bud Light consumers who look at this and go, I'm not buying Bud Light. Like, I'd rather just buy another crappy beer.
The majority of people don't care about this. Like, they really don't. There was a recent study that came out. I mean, I haven't really looked too deeply into it, so don't cancel me if it's not the best study, but it showed that about 3% of Americans think that trans and LGBT issues should be either the first or a secondary issue when it comes to voting. They don't really care. And that's referring to things that are much more serious than Dylan Mulvaney on a Bud Light can. That's referring to trans people in sports. That's referring to trans people using the bathroom that they would like. That's referring to trans healthcare for minors. Those are like more serious things than little Miss Mulvaney on a Bud Light can. The only people that really care about stuff like this are people like Ben. People that have dedicated their lives to hating people being themselves.
Like, they think that they can get away with this, culturally speaking. And pretty much all of the culture thinks this because they live in a magical bubble of their own making.
I mean, they're definitely gonna get away with it. Bud Light has been LGBT friendly for a very, very long time now. They had a gay can, they had a can with rainbows on it or something. Like, they've been openly supportive of the LGBTQ community for a while now, and they're doing just fine. I mean, they still taste really bad, but they're doing just fine.
This is all nuttiness, or non-nuttiness, as the case may be. But again, it is not restricted.
Now that was a good one, Ben. I like that one. You can see him still giggling about it.
Apparently, according to Breitbart, pop star Lizzo's brand, Yiddy.
I don't care about Lizzo. I mean, I do. I love Lizzo, but that's not what this video is about. The rest of the video, he talks about how trans people are too visible and trans visibility isn't needed anymore, blah, blah, blah. Girl, I don't care. We're here and we're visible and you're gonna have to look at me for the rest of your life. He also talks about God and how God said there was male and female and this transgenderism goes against it. I don't know of this God that you speak of. The God that I know is my endocrinologist giving me my moans. But yeah, now let's get into the more extreme reaction of the two from Miss Candace Owens. Now, she is just wild. She is freaking wild. In the beginning of this, she talks about slavery and the Jim Crow laws, and she says that the people who speak out against slavery nowadays and say that slavery is bad and we wouldn't have let this happen back then and we would have stood up for people, she claims that they wouldn't have actually stood up for people back then because their education back then reinforced slavery and said that it was a good thing, and how their morals were shaped around preserving the Caucasian race or something like that. I'm gonna skip that part because it's really cringy.
Which brings me to today, which brings me to the greatest civil rights violation of our time, which is taking place right now, and that is transgenderism. And I'm going to make a very strong statement right now, and I mean it. It is worse than Jim Crow laws because we are mutilating the bodies of children.
Yeah, you heard him. You heard the We need to stop this madness. It ends now. We need to stop mutilating infants' genitalia. Down with circumcision, down with surgeries for intersex babies, cancel it all. It's done. That's what we're talking about, right? Right? Am I right? What are we talking about here? I know we're not talking about trans issues anymore because babies don't have trans surgeries. They just don't. It makes me so frustrated when people like this with large platforms spread literal lies, literal misinformation, propaganda, whatever you want to call it. It's false. It's just not true. No babies, no children, anything like that are having any sorts of surgeries, any even sorts of medical interventions when they're trans. They're just not. Medical interventions start around Tanner stage 2 of puberty for the most extreme cases, for the children that literally need it, the children that have came out the womb saying that they were trans. And it is medicine prescribed by doctors that is supported by every single major medical organization. She talks about, well, the medical organization supported slavery back then because they thought that black people were less than white people and they supported it in their science and that's why people did this, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about the methodology of the studies if you'd like, Miss Owens. Like, bring me your studies, we'll break it down, and I'll bring you my studies, and then we can break it down, okay?
How could you not see that as something worse? You segregated white people versus black people, you wouldn't be harming children, and we are doing that.
I think what she's forgetting here is something very, very important. The Jim Crow laws were not just about segregation and keeping people separate and keeping people apart. It's what they stood for, what they represented, if you will, which was the fact that Black people are less than white people, or they are not deserving of being in the same space as white people. The Jim Crow laws were dehumanizing on purpose, and they fed into the discrimination of Black people, not just by the government and by institutions, but by the everyday person walking down the road. But all of that being said, like, this comparison is just not right. It's just so false. It's so misleading. It is so crafted to push her narrative and to push the transphobic agenda. No children are having gender affirming surgeries. It's not happening. What is happening is intersex babies are having surgery on their literal infant body parts because of narratives like Candace's that pushes the idea that there is only male and female and everything else is a deformity instead of just how somebody was born or who somebody is.
And once again, the same usual suspects are supporting it, the mainstream media. Look around you.
It's funny because the New York Times literally posts like transphobic op-eds all the time. And she's like, they're supporting it. They're supporting it. No, they're not. I have a video like 3 weeks back talking about how problematic the New York Times is, but it's fine. Whatever fits your little storyline, right?
New York Times, the Washington Post, they're saying it's compassionate to allow your child to pick their gender. The science is in, guys. It's totally fine to allow children to take drugs that chemically castrate them.
Oh my God. She's getting all the little transphobic slogans in there. Chemical castration. They didn't talk about chemical castration when these drugs were used on cisgender kids. It's just because it's a gender affirming treatment now that they have a problem with it. And also, Miss Candace, it is an act of compassion. When 98 to 99% of people that have these treatments are happier afterwards, what else would you call that besides compassion? What else would you call that besides good healthcare? What else would you call that besides effective medical treatment? Some of the best antidepressants out there have a success rate of about 60%, 70%. The success rate, or whatever you want to call it, of gender affirming treatment of HRT is 98 to 99%. That's like literally incredible.
That render them infertile for the rest of their lives. It's good for their mental psyche. There are all sorts of doctors and people with PhDs that are writing this. In fact, doctors and surgeons are performing these procedures to mutilate the bodies of our most vulnerable. We are talking about something that is borderline Frankenstein. It is Frankenstein. These are human experiments that are being performed on children.
You can just like see her eyes following the script. This is borderline Frankenstein, roll eyes. I mean,
even the publications that I read and that I support, Daily Mail, Fox News, they are mildly contributing to the civil rights violation by referring to people like Dylan Mulvaney as a she. Read the articles on their websites. They are calling Dylan Mulvaney a she.
oh my God. Girl, get a hobby. Knit a blanket or something. This is what you're mad about. Somebody being referred to as a she. That is a civil rights violation right there, calling somebody a she. We're not calling women she anymore? Should I refer to Candace as he? Okay, Mr. Candace Owens.
Dylan Mulvaney is not a she. He is a pervert.
Oh my God.
Of what it means to be a man. He belongs in a circus act. But instead, he's receiving the support and now he is earning the wealth from many corporations for his little girl minstrel act.
This is off the rails. She needs to get a grip. This is insane. I just don't understand why this person is so, I mean, I do. I get why she's so mad because it makes her money, but not the mother effing minstrel act claim. I love that claim. It's just so funny to me. Not minstrel acts. Those are not funny. Don't get me wrong. Not funny at all. If you don't know what a minstrel act is, it's when white actors used to put on blackface and make fun of Black people. These minstrel acts were used to dehumanize people. They were used to reinforce the stigma against Black people. They were used to excuse discrimination. Overall, they were really, really bad. Now, Dylan Mulvaney is living her life the way that makes her comfortable. She's not on stage acting, making fun of people. She's just living her life in a way that feels authentic to her. I mean, that's all I have to say about that.
His minstrel show is referring to a woman's vagina as a Barbie pouch. Yeah, he is that sick and that deluded. He refers to it as a Barbie pouch.
That's weird, but like it's not perverted. Like, get over it. Okay, let's fast forward to where she talks about the Nike campaign because I'm bored.
And he is modeling for him as an ad partner, sponsoring their women's wear. There he is, I guess, putting on his best Richard Simmons performance and thinking that this is supposed to be funny, dancing and skipping with his hair in a high ponytail, because that's, I guess, what women do at a workout class or something.
Girl, she's like, real women wear their hair in a low pony. Is my bun low enough for you, Miss Girl? Real women don't wear high ponies. I'm telling Miss Ariana Grande, she's gonna come for you, girl.
We act like little girls on a playground, coordinating a dance with our friends. What is this? Is that funny to anybody that just watched that? Is that cute to anybody that just watched that? Is that womanly to any person that just watched that? Or does that look to you to be what it is?
It looks to me to be what it is, which is somebody living their life and, just trying to be authentic to themselves in a way that is very new to them, very exploratory to them. Like I said, there is some stereotypical behavior, but it's hard to say whether that's Dylan reinforcing stereotypes or if that's just Dylan being Dylan.
A freak, a perversion, and something that no person should be supporting in this society, that every single person should be speaking out against. If you actually care about women, if you deem yourself to be a feminist, even if you don't deem yourself to be a feminist, if you deem yourself to be a moral individual, how do you not speak out against the fact that this man wearing woman face is now taking the spots of women? Why couldn't Nike have offered that position to a mother who maybe is a single mom, has 5 kids, works multiple jobs? Why couldn't we see that person?
Girl, you really think that Nike hasn't worked with other people before? You think that none of Nike's models are single mothers? Like, get a grip. That's the second time I said get a grip today. She really needs a grip. Oh my God, if I was Dylan though, I would love the fact that Candace Owens said that I was doing woman face when I had no makeup on. Like, my bare face is woman face? Thank you, Candace. You are such an ally. But in all seriousness, this is something that we've seen before. This is a very transparent attempt to dehumanize the trans community, to make us seem subhuman, to make us seem like freaks. I mean, she literally called Dylan a freak. She called her perverted. She called her a man. She said that she was sick. All of these different things to try to make her viewers view being transgender as, I mean, you heard it from her, Frankenstein-esque, freakish, something that belongs in a circus. Things that we've heard said about other minorities so many times. We've heard it said about gay people, we've heard it said about black people, we've heard it said about Jewish people. You name a minority that's been attacked throughout history, and I'm sure the same things that Candace is saying about Dylan was said about those minority groups as a way to get people to agree with them and dehumanize these minority groups and go along with their discrimination. I see right through you, Candace. I feel like most rational people will see right through this. I mean, Dylan is just like, I don't know. I don't know how people could be mad at her. I don't know. It's just really, really unfortunate that this whole conversation has come to this. This whole trans conversation, this whole trans movement has come to this. We're attacking individuals based on who they are, saying that they're freakish and that they're monsters and that they need to be put away for being who they are. It's scary, and honestly, people like Candace and videos like this should not be on YouTube. They do not belong on YouTube. But okay, that is about it. I hope y'all had like 5 beers throughout this because God knows that I need one right now. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe right down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.